All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another groundbreaking episode of the Slack Doctors. I am Dr. Chip.
I am Dr. Bob.
Okay, so in this episode, we will be doing numerous victory laps. But before that, a lot of the stuff we're talking about is going to be in some voicemail, but we'll wait till we get to that section of the show. But there's a few things I wanted to talk about before that. Did you happen to see the Joe Rogan, Theo podcast, Dr. Bob?
No.
It was pretty interesting. Not really. I didn't really find it that interesting when I was watching it, but apparently the internet is blowing up about it because basically at one point Theo Von says, do you see that they're in Lebanon now? And Joe Rogan goes, supposedly there are terrorists there and blah, blah, and they want to stop the terrorists. And Theo Von basically goes, they're the terrorists. They should look in the mirror. Start there. And Joe Rogan goes, dude, you should just chill out and hang out with us. Come out, hang at the bar with us, and you just need to chill out. Now, normally, for a lifelong self-described antidepressant addict like Theo Von, I would normally say that's probably pretty good advice, but everybody on the internet is now Joe Rogan. I think Theo Von may have just taken over as the new Joe Rogan.
I have seen commentaries and stuff about Rogan becoming more compromised and less willing to engage, on a serious level about a lot of things, pulling back more often.
Well,
and look at who he gets as guests.
I was just having this conversation with our producer, which unfortunately is not Dean today, but it was just, I don't know if this is true, but somebody was saying that every one of those VPN ads on his show is $400,000 for every episode or some shit like that, which that's a lot of motivation. But at the same time, I don't think Joe Rogan doesn't need the money. Why is he doing this? But then at the same time, a lot of people in his orbit do need the money. Tony Hinchcliffe, Tom Segura, the Schultzes, all those people are all on that VPN piggyback of cash. So if he were to say, yeah, we got to stop buying this stuff or endorsing this product or whatever, that'd end the gravy train for all his friends. But yeah, because he had cash, he had JFK, he had Trump, and he just softball interviewed him. I was sitting there going why aren't you asking him something? Challenge him on something. So I don't know. I don't know if Joe Rogan's going to be the top anymore.
It's been a long time since I've seen him punch up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've seen him punch down. He punched down real hard when he had that archaeologist Flint Dribble, whatever the guy's name is.
That guy's an idiot too. And he punched down a lot on Douglas Murray a little bit too. Yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, you're right. But I don't know. We'll see what happens because it's funny because this relates to the other thing I wanted to talk about, which is our YouTube views. So we've discussed this already. And as I was just telling young Carlo over there, we were up to almost 500 views on our victory lap taking episode that we got everything right on. And then next day it's down to 2-something. And you say it's bots, to which I initially agreed. But then I also remind you that the same thing happened before I was on X. So do you think the same bots are on Facebook?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I absolutely do. And I think that the Facebook algorithm or whatever magical mystery tour bus shit they do to determine whether something's a bot, I think they run it against their own views as well as views from other platforms. And yeah, bots are everywhere.
So why would bots want to watch our show, though? That's the part I don't really, just to try to act authentic?
Yes.
Interesting.
To encourage engagement for whatever the bot's original purpose was. To stoke the flames, to support one side, to condemn another, whatever.
Can we make our own bots?
We could probably get Tyler to do it for us.
Yeah, maybe. That's true. I forgot we got a little hacker in chief over there. But yeah. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to mention, I saw a post from some guy.
But yeah. Oh, by the way, that video now is up to, it's over 300 now, I think.
Really? Okay, so it's up 100 more.
The views,
somebody's watching.
Not all the views that you generated through posting it on X were bots, but that first major influx of them, a large portion were bots, I suspect.
So one of the things I noticed is if we are ever going to make any money at this, I doubt it's going to be through YouTube. It's going to have to be through Patreon, through merchandise, through sponsorships. Because I saw a post from a guy that said he had spent tens of thousands of dollars, and I think he said 2 or 3 years trying to build his page, this and the other thing, and he finally got paid $8. So I don't know if people are saying they're getting all this money from YouTube. I'm not sure if they're doing it on the up and up, or I'm not sure how that works. I don't think any of this is on the up and up. I think all of this shit is rigged. But
right, unless you're Mr. Beast.
No. Who knows? Maybe we could. God damn! I just bit my tongue. Maybe we could go viral and break the algorithm or something somehow. I don't know. We certainly, and that's basically what I'm doing on X now. Is anybody that says, "Oh, look at this about the bullets and this and that," and I go, "Looks like we were right," and I post our episode, and there you go. Anyway, unless you got anything else to add, we could probably get to some messages.
No. Actually, I'm looking down on the floor here. I drink a lot of water, and I was at Aldi's the other day, and I had no water left. The water here in Gainesville tastes like shit, so I buy it by the gallon. And all they had were those stupid, tall cylinder, the ones with the strap handle at the top. You lift them straight up, right? I just like to make a personal rant that I fucking hate those kinds of water. What is the advantage of packaging it like that? Just so that it's easier to carry. It is easier to carry it in the house.
That's it.
But it's not easier to pour it ever.
Well, speaking of which,
go
ahead.
Walmart sells it that way. Walmart only sells it that way too now. So essentially, the only grocery store / whatever store around here that I can go buy gallons of water that's not in that horrible packaging is Publix. And now they're up like $1.60 a gallon. So it seems like the price of water at Publix at a grocery store is damn near half the price of gas.
Yeah, that's true.
That's my little rant.
And I find it a little funny that Gainesville should have good water. Isn't that where all the natural springs and stuff in Ocala right next door? You would think they would have decent water. But anyway, the other thing I wanted to mention, though, is you should start wherever you get your water, immediately be taking it out of plastic. Apparently, we're all loaded up with plastic. I know I am.
Yeah,
I know I am, because I used to drink all my coffee out of Solo cups. I just literally about maybe less than a year ago started using an actual coffee cup. So I know.
I did see that Rogan episode, and I know that's what you're referencing, or at least I'm guessing.
Oh, it's not just Rogan. It's everywhere. They're saying we're all ate up with plastic. And if that's the case, I know I am.
Well, they're even saying that your coffee maker, the machine itself,
is plastic. Yeah, absolutely,
is plastic, and the water heats up inside that plastic, and then drips through a plastic filter.
Exactly.
And then it's poured into a plastic.
How do you get away from it? There's almost no escaping it. At some point, your water probably goes through a PVC pipe. How is there going to be any kind of way to say there's no plastic in this water? That's going to be almost impossible.
What would be scientifically more difficult? To literally remove all these plastics, or to somehow engineer ourselves to use plastics in our biology?
Yeah, who knows? I don't know.
There's some comedian,
and
maybe it was Carlin or somebody, that said that the whole point of humanity could be something as simple as the production of plastic, so that some future life form that needs to eat plastic will be able to survive on our plastic and then be the next dominant. Kind of like how everything that produced the oil that we use to build our culture once was a living thing. Extinct, its whole point of existence could be seen as simply to live, die, be compressed, turned into fuel so that we could rise and use them, use their desiccated remains.
How micro is microplastic? Aren't there? Can't we just put a filter in something? How small are they?
That's a good technical question that I don't know the answer to, but I think that they do get down to be pretty fucking small.
Probably. I don't know.
Microns.
Who knows? All right. So let's run a. Go ahead and pick out. I know there's at least 2 Charlie Kirk messages in there. Try to pick both of those out and run them.
All right.
Okay, I'm sure this will be the first of many messages and clips about the fact that the defense for Tyler Robinson has revealed that the bullet that they got from Charlie does not match the gun that they say that Tyler shot Charlie with, which obviously we've been bringing up that very point since the very beginning. And the internet is, of course, going crazy, from people doing victory laps to people completely denying that proves anything, which it does. It doesn't prove anything. It doesn't prove anything. But what it does is it brings up a lot of questions. And here's the whole problem with the whole situation, with the questions and the lies. If they would have come out from the very beginning and said, listen, we got a guy, we think he did it, this is the evidence we have, we're going to keep investigating, we're pretty sure this is a guy, not really completely sure because we don't have that much solid evidence other than this damning circumstantial evidence that we have lots of that. If they'd have come out and been honest and truthful from the beginning, nobody would be questioning this. Nobody would be saying anything about anyone or Israel or any of that stuff. But the fact that they came out right out of the box, we got the guy, he's totally guilty, there's no question of it, that's the problem. That's the whole thing that makes this completely look like bullshit. Okay, that's it. Talk to you later.
And in a similar vein, if Erica Kirk had just acted like the stay-at-home mom she's been lying that she is, they would have got away with this. They would have completely got away with it. Their own lying and hubris is really the thing that's made this whole fucking thing fall apart.
And as far as what it proves or doesn't prove, I mean, if their theory all right, so what they're saying is that the bullet fragments, they're not saying it doesn't match. They're saying it's inconclusive. They can't match. They can't make it a match.
Right.
So they're not sure. And the theory I've heard being posited is that it's because it was a soft bullet that broke apart or something like that. So then the next question is, where were the other bullets found on the scene, or any bullets found on the scene?
Yes.
Full Metal Jacket.
That's true. They have the bullets. They can easily just go look now and say, hey, wait a minute. These wouldn't fall apart. Or they would.
Yeah.
But it could be a case for the prosecution. Go, look, it's the kind of bullets that would fragment. Look, here they are. You would think they would come out and say that. Look, we got evidence. See, evidence.
But you're right.
Actual evidence
coming out of the bat or out of the cage saying we got him. This is definitely the guy. It doesn't look good, and it's odd too because usually that's the kind of thing they say right before said person just gets taken out anyway. But before there can be a trial, before there can even be any kind of questioning of the subject or anything.
Well, that's something we could debate about too. Do you think Tyler Robinson is safer in jail or out? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. He could be Epstein in there.
That's a good question.
He could be sniped out here. I don't know where is a safe place for that kid, but anyway.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and play the next email or voicemail because I think it's still in the vein of what we're talking about here.
All right. Since the recent news has come out about the fragmented bullet not matching, we should go ahead and issue a challenge to our listeners to try to find a picture of the original bullets with the writing on them.
I screwed up on this.
All right, so we'll pause that.
What happened is I conflated the bullets, the picture of the bullets of the ICE shooting that also had writing on them. I conflated that picture, and I thought I'd seen a picture of Tyler's bullets, which they have never produced a picture of Tyler's bullets with writing on it that I know of. Or we could just check. We could look and say, oh, look, they're hollow points or they're Full Metal Jacket. Case closed or case still open, whatever the case may be. But yeah, I fucked up on that. And that brings me up another point, as a matter of fact. We're definitely doing some major victory laps about how completely right we were about so many things. But one of the things that I think that would lend a huge amount of authenticity to the fact that we're not motivated to say any of this shit for any particular reason, that I can admit when I've been wrong. Okay, I was wrong about that. Completely wrong. And I immediately said so to all the people that pointed it out on X. I was like, oh shit, you're right. I was wrong. I was wrong about Tulsi Gabbard. I was wrong about Ron DeSantis. I was wrong about Byron Donald. All right. I can admit when I've been wrong, but there hasn't been that many times. So I'm going to ask you, when's the last time you got something really wrong? It's tough, ain't it?
It is hard to remember, actually, and I don't, and that's actually more an indictment of my marijuana usage and my memory, probably, than it is of my actual self-righteousness.
That's pretty funny. All right. Anyway, that's the point I wanted to make. Is look, man, how many times?
And also,
it takes inflection to go.
To get stories mixed up together. Didn't Luigi write something on his bullets too?
Supposedly, yes, I believe so. Yeah. The
something catch this fascist or something like that.
Yeah. And that's another thing that makes the whole thing stink to high heaven. Come on, man.
Right.
All right, go ahead.
Can we go back in culture and try to figure out how? Was there a movie that was popular recently for young incels or whatever that said something where people were writing on bullets? I don't remember.
Yeah,
why would you write on a? When did writing on bullets become a thing? I don't know.
Beats me. All right. So, are there any more about Charlie Kirk? Because there's another point that has to be made. And I think I made it on one of the messages, but I can't remember. But you know what? I'll tell you what. If we get to that message, we'll just cut it off. But the other point to be made is, despite all the other inconsistencies, despite the fact that at this point they really have very little or no evidence that it was the rifle that they have shot anybody. There's no confession. What's the other parts of the footage of him running around, or the picture, which may or may not be him? That's pretty flimsy. All right, so let's go with what they are also calling a confession, which technically is not, which is all this chat they discovered on Discord or wherever the fuck they found it. So if you've read part of this chat, one of the lines of chat says, hey, my dad's calling me. My grandfather wants a picture of his rifle because it's very distinct, and he's seeing pictures of it on TV claiming it shot somebody or something to that effect, basically. All right. They never showed a picture of his grandfather's rifle. They showed a picture of that.
The picture they used was a stock photo.
And it's got composite. It's not even a wood rifle. They didn't have that kind of composite in 1918. So as soon as they showed that picture, I'm like, well, that's a picture of a Mauser. That's obviously not the one. Guess what?
Right.
Somebody that wrote that chat thinks it was. It sure as hell wasn't. Well, come on, man. These guys are fucking screwing the pooch. There's no evidence against this guy. Go ahead.
The powers that be, if there's anything easier to spoof or fake than chats or messages or texts, come on.
Also, you would think just as easily to actually find out where they actually came from. And the right kind of hacker can find out exactly who sent those messages. And here's the other thing. They're saying, do you even know like what they're talking about in this ATF report? Are they talking about a fragment or several fragments? Because that seems to be a point of contention. And not only that, do you remember at the very beginning when the guy comes out and tells the guy from TPUSA that Charlie's neck stopped the bullet and that the bullet was just under the skin? Remember that?
Yeah.
What happened there? Was that a fragment? Was that the bullet? What's that? What the fuck is going on?
If it didn't exit, then you've got all the fragments.
Exactly. Yeah, it's the whole thing is just completely, their case is just completely falling apart. And of course, Pam Bondi just got fired. Nothing to do with that, I'm sure. There's so many other things that she fucked up and yeah.
The Dow right now is over 50,000. I don't know why you're laughing. That's what we should be talking about.
It's just one distraction after another.
You ain't shit, man. All right, go ahead with another voicemail.
All right. I just saw somebody complaining about the fact they're about to put more ethanol in gas, which doesn't really matter because they shouldn't be putting any ethanol in gas in the first place. I mean, I thought they proved decades ago that a net energy loss. It takes more energy to turn corn into ethanol than you get from burning it. It's completely a stupid idea, and the only reason they're doing it is because the corn industry needs the subsidies. They're getting subsidized from the government to literally run this net energy loss scam. Unless something's changed from a couple of decades ago, it costs us energy to put ethanol in gas. It costs us money and costs us energy. Make that make sense.
All right. All I can say about that call is that I agree wholeheartedly. You absolutely nailed it on the head. That's exactly why they're doing it, because they got too much corn.
And in
case, do something with it.
In case anybody doesn't understand the concept, here's what they're doing. They're putting ethanol in our gas, claiming that by doing that, we're using less gas, therefore using less renewable energy. Corn, it just grows. It's easy. We can just... How do you think they make ethanol out of corn? Have any idea?
I do not know the process by which they do.
The process takes a lot of pressure. You squeeze it until it becomes flammable. Do you realize how much energy that takes?
I mean, to mention that the energy and chemicals required to grow the corn in the first place.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't know who put this together, but if it was the South Park guys, kind of makes sense, but I don't think it was them.
Yeah, no, this was just a clip from South Park. This was, I think. Right. But anyway, we'll share it first and then discuss.
Words with venom, words that bind. Words used like weapons to cloud my mind.
Maximum lethality, not tepid legality. Violent effect, not politically correct.
Okay, yeah, it's just
they could have made that hours longer. They could have made that thing at least 45 minutes long from all the stupid shit that guy says. That's hilarious.
Why is Keg's breath trying to sound like a preacher?
He does. Maybe he learned his speaking skills at a black church. Who knows? I don't know.
It all comes back to Cleophas again. Keep missing him.
But you've heard about it, like everybody's fired now. He's fired every general we got now, right?
I just saw something about that yesterday. That was the chief of operations or Army's chief of staff. I forget the title that he had.
Basically, people are just going, no, sir, we're not going to do that. And he's going, you're fired. We're doing it.
I got somebody who will do it.
Yeah, that's right. We got a guy right behind you that's got the same little swastika tattooed as I do that will do it. Yeah, that guy's crazy. All right.
You knew I had to pick this one out. Hang on. Let me get this started.
Oh, I probably already have it picked out, too. I know exactly which one you're talking about.
And here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Human consciousness. And we got to talk about that, given that so many people are hailing it as this magical breakthrough thing. So what are my credentials to talk about this? I have a PhD in neuroscience, and I actually completed both my bachelor's and master's degree in molecular pharmacology. I know what...
At this point, I was almost sold. I'm like, all right, those are pretty solid credentials.
Right?
Thing or two about how drugs influence our physiology. On top of that, I'm also frequency intuitive, and I have studied spirituality, frequency, energy for many years and also teach it.
Where do you study that?
Whoa, exactly. Yeah. Whoa, how can you be an expert on something that's made up? All right, let's keep going.
So, here we go. There are two things I want to bring to your attention with regards to Ozempic when we start thinking about what is its role in the current evolution of humanity, especially knowing that there are certain beings, entities, whatever we want to call them, that don't have our best interests at heart.
For fuck's sake, what is this chemical's role in the evolution of humanity? This drug that was created originally for the type 2 diabetes and then got started prescribing off book for something else that was a side effect. So then they doubled the strength of it and it strips away all your muscle fibers while you lose weight and gives you fucking pancreatitis for the rest of your life. Yeah. I guess the whole point of this drug then is to evolve beyond the need for a pancreas. As human beings, that's the next step in our evolution, is that we no longer need to digest our food. Let's keep going.
So I want to bring two things to your attention. The first thing is, what does Ozempic do? And we're not going to go into the molecular mechanism because who the fuck cares? But we're going to talk about...
I care. Everybody cares. That's the whole fucking point of a medicine. Look, that's one of the biggest arguments I have against the SSRIs and all the shit that makes people go crazy and shoot is because they can't explain the mechanism by how it works.
I knew you'd love this video.
We understand quite well the mechanism, how this thing works. And we'll keep going.
About the fact. And I'm going to read here from you. Ozempic can decrease pleasure-seeking behaviors by reducing dopamine release in the brain's reward center. So that's the nucleus accumbens, ventral tegmental area through GLP-1 receptors, often curbing addictions to food, alcohol, and nicotine. While designed for satiety, this mechanism can also lead to reduced libido, anhedonia, which is less pleasure in life. You cannot experience pleasure.
All right, so basically this is if you want to reach nirvana. This is for Buddhists, right? Ozempic is for Buddhists.
There we
go. Because the reason life is pain is because you want things and you have to get rid of your need to want things so that you can reach nirvana. So you could either meditate on top of a mountain or you could just fucking take Ozempic.
Pleasure and potential difficulty reaching orgasm. So let's just call it from an energy perspective what this is. It kills desire, it kills pleasure, it kills sacral activation, and it kills the flow of life force energy. Your access to your life force energy, your passion, your desire is your ticket to creating your own fucking reality, your empowerment, and a clear yes-no discernment in 3D. They're taking that away. Second thing we need to talk about when it comes to Ozempic, though, is the following. Ozempic is another one of classical pharmaceutical products where you don't have to take responsibility. You don't have to take power into your own hands. You're given an external solution to a problem that has always been here. You're not asked to assess why there is a problem that there arose in the first place, why you cannot lose weight. Look at toxicity, look at trauma, look at hormones, look at lifestyle, any of the things where you can take your agency and power into your own hands and say, I create my own fucking reality. So it's doing two things simultaneously. It's killing your life force energy, killing your pleasure, killing your desire, and it's also telling you, you have this problem you cannot solve. Here's the solution. And we're going to make money off of that. This is fucking slavery. This has nothing to do with empowerment. And anyone who believes that these agendas have anything to do with empowerment of humanity is totally fucking delusional.
All right, I can't do it. It's over anyway.
It was almost over.
No, it's over. It's definitely over.
Of all the people I knew you could make sense of this.
At the end of the day, she's against Ozempic, and so am I.
Yeah.
But oh my God, I hate to have an ally like that. I'd almost rather go back on the fucking drug.
But the vibes, Rom.
Oh, good Lord. Here's the thing. As soon as I saw that clip, I was like, okay, this is the fucking trifecta for Rom. It's got drugs, Ozempic, it's got stupid chicks, and mysticism.
Yeah, spirituality and magic and yeah.
I was like, fucking, Rom's going to have a field day with this clip. Oh, that was perfect. Absolutely perfect. All right, what else you got? Let's get through the voicemails just so we can clear them out.
I know I picked that one up because it was a good one. Oh, wait, this is a pretty good one too. And I'd already seen this clip.
Homophobic that was straights of Hormuz, not gays.
I agree. Yes, for sure.
Why do you think they're willing to leave the gays of Hormuz behind?
Because the gays of Hormuz were already hurled off of rooftops. But let's keep going.
I think it's just historically, gays have always been very discriminated against, which is wrong on so many levels.
Even in war.
Yeah, even in war. It just takes more reform in government, obviously, and then also educating society.
Let's pause that for a second. Even in war. I don't know. Isn't that where the whole term foxhole buddy comes from? I think in war, during a time of war, you might even be a little more accepting of brotherly love.
Greeks never leave your buddy behind.
Word. You know, any port in a storm, that kind of mentality.
I feel like if we're going to go in there, we can't leave the gay people behind. I don't think we should go in there at all, but if we're going to, the gays of Hormuz, we could turn it into Fire Island.
For sure.
The whole point, great idea.
The whole fact that this chick just keeps going like it's a serious interview after he goes to the gays of Hormuz instead of the straights. Come on, man. You got to be shitting me. You can't. You're that unaware of yourself and your surroundings. All right, I got one.
It's easy to get that kind of footage because it's just a numbers game. You
I know.
You go to an event, you ask 100 of them, and 5 or however many, those are the ones you show.
I gotta say, hold on. I'm gonna share the next one because it's related. Let me just make sure I find the right one here.
You are not run a mass surveillance state, whether it's run by the CIA, Peter Thiel and his butt buddies, or the flock cameras. I will ban flock cameras as Florida governor.
That was amazing. And
no,
that is
he
also,
didn't.
I had that pulled up too.
I was like, no, he didn't just say butt buddies. And the hilarious thing is, guess who's Peter Thiel's major butt buddy is? J.D. Vance. Yeah, why do you think he wears makeup, folks? Come on. Yeah, we're getting.
I tell you what, between the local state aviation proposal and the getting rid of flock cameras, this Fishback guy is starting to get my interest.
Yeah, he's got some great ideas, but at the same time, he's got a couple of flaws that I don't like. The whole get the fuck out of Taco Bell.
All do.
Yeah, but get the fuck out of Taco Bell. First of all, that ain't food. Don't encourage anybody to eat that crap. Go find some mom and pop. Go do Taco Charbon or whatever.
Doesn't the ground beef have like sawdust in it or something?
Yes, it's not even classified as meat. It's not meat.
Yeah.
Don't stop that. And then the other thing is the whole.
It is to
going in on the public education thing is
what
kind
a
of
sliced cheese product is to cheese.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
I meant to bring this up last episode, but I hadn't. I think I discussed before how Ram and I seem to have different perspectives and some of the things we have in common that I think give us that same perspective. One of the things I wanted to ask him is if he remembers his parents ever lying to him. Because I know myself, I can't remember one instance where my parents ever lied to me. They never told me Santa was real or that religion was a thing. They always, especially my mother, she always said, here's the information. You tell me. You fill up the answer yourself. Here's what we think. And I don't remember them ever lying at any capacity I can remember. And if they did, obviously they got away with it really well because I can't think of a damn thing they ever lied to me about. So I was wondering if Ram had the same experience.
All right. Yeah. When you say parents, my dad was out of there pretty early, so I didn't really.
Yeah, mine too.
He didn't really have an opportunity to lie to me. But my mom was, she didn't lie to me about religion. She definitely lied to me about Santa when I was little.
She did?
Really?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Interesting. I didn't.
Yeah.
See, I never even got. I don't know. I guess maybe they told me this.
Well, let me rephrase that. And when you say lie, if questioned. So I guess by the time I was able to figure it out and ask her if Santa was real, she told the truth to me.
Gotcha.
But she certainly told me the lie originally.
Right.
And there were certain lies of omission. Until I was 30, I always was told I was her oldest kid. I didn't know
that's right.
My brother showed up.
I forgot about
they were definitely lies of omission. Which to a certain point, considering some of the things that in her life, I can understand why you wouldn't want your kid to know that until later or maybe never.
Wow, I forgot all
and then
about
by
that.
the time I was a teenager and visiting my dad for like summers and stuff like that, he fucking lied to me all the time.
No shit.
All the time. Yeah.
Interesting.
He came down to visit once when I was 14 and was supposed to come pick me up from work. I was working at the Gathering where we met. And he said he was going to get a pack of cigarettes or a beer or some shit like that and literally drove all the way back to North Carolina. So
my God.
There were many lies.
It's like a second time he did that, right?
Places that he and I were going to go visit that never happened, vacations and trips that were never going to happen, all kinds of things that were dangled and promised.
All right,
so you redo the floors in El Prado. So now that I think about it, as a later young adult and an adult, he lied to me all the fucking time.
And yet we still both seem to be able to sniff out the lies pretty well, which is interesting. I don't know why, but I was thinking you had the same experience as me. Now that you're right. God, I forgot all about your mom and your older brother.
It was a festival of lies.
Oh, shit. All right. Interesting. Okay.
Even though it starts off with this warning, I'd like to give a warning to any of our listeners that this is a pretty graphic comment on this little call.
Oh, yeah.
Having to rehash this Charlie Kirk thing again, this Lionel guy brings up a good point. He wants to know exactly what caused Charlie to die. Not the bullet, not that he got shot in the neck, but what was the actual cause of death, which I would guess is probably going to be loss of blood from what I saw in the video. He probably lost so much blood that there's no way he's going to live. And if you've seen the video and you understand the nature of the wound, he clearly got shot in, I think, what's called the carotid artery. It's an artery in your neck, comes up from your heart, goes straight to your brain, probably one of the biggest, most important arteries in your body. If that is severed for very long, you die, as we saw with Charlie. There's really only one thing you can do with the severed carotid artery, because you can't really just use direct pressure like most things. You can't put on a tourniquet. That would mean putting a tourniquet on somebody's neck. How would they breathe? So there's really only one way that anybody could have possibly saved Charlie's life after he was shot, and that's by taking what they call a hemostat and clamping off that vein that was...
Just to slightly lighten this up, we would also call that a roach clip.
That was severed. That could have saved Charlie's life. They have those in ambulances. Why wasn't there an ambulance at that event? I mean, there had to be, a couple thousand people, at least 1,000 people there. Isn't there at least... We live in a pretty regulated, over-regulated world, isn't there? You tell me in Utah there's no, kind of law that says, hey, we got 1,000 people coming to this thing. Maybe we should have an ambulance sitting around just in case somebody passes out or has a heart attack. So where was the ambulance? Anyway.
All right. So, yeah, even festivals have a medical tent for stuff like that. And you would think if that many people were there would be some kind of medicine. But carotid artery getting shot like that would result in arterial spray. Every time your heart pumped, the blood would come flying out.
True, yeah, that's true.
And it would empty you of blood rather quickly.
You saw the unedited death.
I have not seen the unedited.
Oh. If you saw it, I don't know if you could say the blood was spraying out, but it was coming out really fast. Really fast.
It would come out really fast.
It literally looked somebody...
There might even be a spray.
It wasn't spraying, but it looked like somebody turned on a blood hose coming out of his neck. Literally that big of a stream of blood.
And it would be coming out in pulses. It wouldn't be a leaking or...
I don't know if he was in frame... See, I don't know. I don't know if I could detect. I don't know if I detected that. But anyway, the point being, if I threw a fucking party with 1,000 people, I'd probably make sure there was an ambulance there just so I didn't get sued. You know what I'm saying? How is there not a fucking ambulance there with a pair of hemostats that if what I'm saying is correct, would have saved his life? Where the fuck?
I don't know. I don't know that somebody could have gotten to him unless the paramedic was standing right around him and it was like. You didn't have to gotten to him really fast.
Would have been a lot closer than wherever the hell they drove him. That's for sure.
Fair enough.
So anyway, all right. That's the bloody.
We got one more email or one more voicemail. All right, here we go. It's a short one, and it's not related to what we've been talking about.
Just saw a clip of Trump saying that we can't afford daycare because wars. Isn't the obvious solution? Sign them up. We don't need daycare. We need more soldiers. Send them to Iran. Later.
All right. We can stop sharing those. That's the last of those. The whole trope of the child soldier really is the last step in barbarism when you think about the Rwandan genocide and stuff like that, where they were using 10, 11, 12-year-old kids. And there's also, sad and sickly enough, there's a logistical reason for doing so because You get them before they've really truly developed a sense of right or wrong, and you can get them to do anything.
Yeah, true. But yeah, that was really just a one-liner from
quite effectively, and they're much smaller target to hit back. They have a smaller hitbox. To use gaming terminology.
Yeah, good point. All right, I got a clip I wanted to get to today, and it's this one also might be a little controversial, but literally, all I'm really going to be doing here is the math. Here we go.
1,000 people died every week for 4 years during the Holocaust. $1,000 people died every.
Guess what? I did the math. Do you know how many people they would have to kill once a week to get to 6 million in 4 years? 280,000 a week.
280,000 a week or a day?
A week. So roughly 30,000 a day. Right? 40,000?
280 divided by 7.
Yeah, what's that? 3, right? 7 and 28?
7, 28,
4. Yeah, so 40,000 a day. 40,000, a football stadium full of people every day. And you can't miss a day because then you're 40 grand behind. All right, so let's even shave the numbers down. Let's say they only killed 4 million Jews. All right, well, that's 200,000 a day. That's still 30,000 a day. I know the Germans had some technology, but what the fuck did they do with 30,000 bodies every day? And I don't think you can have fires going enough to. Does that?
Yeah, I've never sat down and actually tried to do the math on any of it.
It just doesn't seem to add up, as they say. And look, I'm not denying anything happened. I'm sure a lot of Jews got killed in concentration camps. I'm certainly not going to be labeled a Holocaust denier. It certainly happened. But can we all admit they may have possibly fudged a little bit on the numbers? Can we at least admit that?
I think if we went back throughout history, that virtually all the historical information we have is the numbers are probably not right. They're all educated guesses at best. Now, this is slightly sketchier because it's much more recent, more modern records, and you would think that it would be more accurate because of how much more recent it is. But I would say that,
and listen, I'm not saying they can't kill 6 million people in World War II. The Russians are claiming they killed 60 million people, which may be closer to 20 or 30, but that's still a shit ton of fucking people. So I'm not saying that mankind's not capable of killing that many people, but where do you put them all? I don't know.
Yeah, if there's anything mankind has worked at for its entire history is getting better at killing each other.
This is true. But yeah, that's one. And of course, that's the basis of so much of what's going on today is that, but I'm a victim of the Holocaust and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, that was going on 100 years ago now. And we can't exactly be sure exactly what happened. Anyway. All right. I got another clip I should share here, actually. I thought did you happen to see, or have you even heard of the Dave Smith and going on Piers Morgan and debating Adam Solzhenitsyn, I think his name is?
No.
Okay. This guy, Adam, is one of the guys on PBD, which we famously busted for showing video game footage as actual war footage. So we already know
PBD. Ukraine. He thought it was Ukrainian footage, right?
Yeah, they were claiming it was Ukrainian. It was a stupid video game, right? So Adam got his ass kicked by Dave Smith, and it's all over the internet. It's going viral. But this is actually not even related to that. But this is actually just to show, and we're going to talk about PBD's podcast after we watch this thing, because I want to go to a cigar club. I got to find out how much it is. But anyway, so watch this clip and we'll talk about it after we get done here. Hold on.
And I'm very Israel's attitude is we're not gonna put troops. Meanwhile, we're trying to expand somewhere else. And then when you bring up the Greater Israel Project, people are like, "You're crazy."
By the way, that's a very valid question.
Valid question.
A very valid question. If I'm sending my guys, you got to send your guys. If you don't send your guys, I'm sending my guys. Even the most logical player cannot sit there and say, "What are you talking about?" Even the most logical player. And by the way, even more from your end. I don't even want it to be 1-for-1. I don't even want it to be 1-for-1. It's got to be 2-for-1, 3-for-1, because this benefits you more than it benefits me. I know we're partners, but it's got to be a 2-to-1 or 3-to-1 situation when that's taking place.
And then what does that say, Pat? What does that say about your ally? That they're like, "No, we're good, but you're over here, you're expanding." Wait a minute, time out. This is the situation we're at.
The expanding part of Lebanon is your concern? But walk me through it. How is that a concern of yours? Why is that
because right now the focus should be this war. Not if you're defending yourself.
That's not how this works, though. No, that's not how this works. And let me tell you what I mean by that's not how it works. So a lot of times.
Wait, let's see how that's not how it works. That's not how it works. That can't be how it works, right? No, we can't be hypocritical of any point of. All right, let's see how it works. Let's see what Patrick says here.
When you're in a very chaotic situation, like let me put it to you this way. Remember when COVID happened? How many banks were getting killed and crushed? Remember, Tom, when COVID happened? How bad was it for some banks? It was scary for a lot of guys.
Very scary.
Okay, so who capitalized off that crisis?
How did we get from Iran and Lebanon to COVID? Could somebody show me the bridge?
How did we get to banks?
Show me to the bridge. I'm quoting James Brown here. Please show me to the bridge. Show me to the bridge.
Essentially,
go ahead.
Every crisis is an opportunity for somebody.
What's that?
Every crisis and misfortune is somebody else's opportunity.
Anybody, watch these idiots, though. This is just so hilarious.
Jamie Dimon.
How many times?
Multiple
times.
You know why? Because he had all the dry powder to absorb the banks because he understood that what was coming.
So let me ask you a question. Would you call Jamie Dimon an expansionist? Of course. It's not even hesitation. So
I call him a business guy.
I know, but what I'm saying is in this reference,
yes,
he's an expansionist. You're expanding and he bought up other banks that couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
You don't think in this situation, Netanyahu is going to be an opportunistic guy and saying, "Hey, let's take this. Let's take that. Let's take this." Of course he is. Trump would do that. If Trump, you don't think Trump's going to be taking over Cuba? What do you call that?
I think so.
You don't think if Trump gets a chance to take over Greenland, he will? You don't think if Trump gets a chance to take over, he will? Of course. So, okay. So the part where I'm going with.
What's that?
I didn't say anything.
Oh, nothing.
Oh, I thought you said something. It's supposed to be something on your show.
You can watch a guy and criticize him on a few different things, but also be able to sit there and say, I understand he's being opportunistic and taking advantage of what's going on right now, and he's getting everything he can at this point. Trump does that. He does that. I get that. If I'm on the phone with him and I say, wait, you want me to send how many? I'm going to send this, but here's the deal. For every one I send, you send 3. For every one I send, you send 2. Because if you're getting out there saying we're not going to have any boots on the ground, guess what?
Yeah.
Why am I sending my boots on the ground?
Yeah, that's my
So
problem.
then if I'm sending my boots on the ground, guess what I have to get from you?
Boots on the ground?
No, not boots. You don't think if I'm sending my boots on the ground behind closed doors, I have to negotiate a strong deal to get more things out of you?
Oh, of course.
I have to.
I think so.
That we don't know.
Yes.
I don't know that part. So that's the conversation I don't know.
All right.
And I'm very disappointed that Israel.
How many times did Patrick's position evolve in just that one clip? He started out saying, no boots on the ground unless Israel, and then went, okay, maybe, and then at the end, you'd have to come on, man. That guy is
no boots on the ground unless you guys match us or exceed us with the boots on the ground. No boots on the ground if you're trying to do stuff that instead of focusing on what we're doing right now, which is the main focus. And also no boots on the ground if we can't make some kind of back deal behind the door, behind closed doors scene. Yeah.
Dude, Come on, this guy is. Well, how is this guy even popular? And supposedly he's getting less and less popular because most people can see. And like I've said from day one,
I'd never heard of him until you mentioned it to me, so he's not that popular.
Well, he's pretty popular. But like I've said, the only guy on that show that's not a complete moron is that guy Tom. And other than that, I don't know how. I mean, the rest of them, I guess, are just entertainingly stupid because I don't get it. And look, I'll be the first to admit, probably all those guys are richer than. I don't know what. I know supposedly Pat PBD made his money shilling in the insurance business, which of course we all know is a scam. And now everything he does is basically to market something. He's either selling hats or shoes or his little cigar club, which goddamn, I got to find out how much. I got to, if nothing else, what do you think of the chances that we could get in there with a secret camera? Like they got to have max security in that stupid. He's got some, do you know what I'm talking about? He's got some cigar bar that's members only. And you got to. Yeah,
how much does the membership go for?
That's what I don't know. I want to find out. If it ain't that much, I'm going just to see who these fucking wackos are, man. What kind of Illuminati shit is going on in there?
Got to go in there and smell cigars the whole time.
Nah,
you like cigars?
I don't dislike them. Yeah, I don't care. Truthfully, I used to smoke cigars when I played a lot of golf. But the last cigar I smoked is my dad still smokes cigars to this day. Is I was up in Boston and he goes, "Let's smoke a cigar," and I smoked a cigar with him and threw up immediately. I just got like sick to my stomach.
The smell of a cigar to me is disgusting. It's like a burning dog turd.
It doesn't bother me. But yeah, it's supposedly like a cigar and whiskey lounge or something like that. And you got to pay X amount to even be able to go in. Then they have special events where I guess you go in there, meet and greet the other Illuminati, fucking stonemason guy, Mason, whatever the fuck.
Why doesn't Florida have any like private clubs for people that smoke marijuana? You have to have a medical card to get in or something, and maybe just make a coffee shop like you have in Amsterdam. And one of the requirements for membership would be that you had a medical card. You wouldn't be allowed to sell or dispense of marijuana there, but because you were the owner of the property and you allowed it, it would be legal for people to go there and do that.
I think that's probably, I guarantee you there's something like that in California probably already. Just not.
But yeah, places where it's fully recreational. But I'm saying, does anything like that exist in a state where it's only medical?
You could do
the only way you could do it would be a private club. One of the requirements for the club would be that you're in the program.
You can do it on Clematis, dude. The West Palm Beach police have a stand down order on weed. You can walk up to a fucking West Palm Beach cop and hand it, go, "Do you want to hit?" And they don't do nothing. So you could do it on Clematis right now.
But it's somewhere along the line, you're going to have to deposit the money from doing that business in a bank. And at that point, whether or not the Clematis police give a shit.
That's the same problem. Same problem with dispensaries, though. Are they allowed to use banks yet?
Yes.
Are they?
Now that they're state.
Yeah, so you should.
But I still don't know how when they transfer money interstate. I don't know. It is very complicated.
I don't know. All right, listen, I got one more clip to make fun of these idiots, and then we'll probably wrap it up here today. But let me play this one last clip from Fox News that I don't even know how I saw it because I don't watch Fox News, but
domineering. Epic fury and then lion. These two. And with Israel and the United States, there is no
talk about Ozempic
in terms of what this country needs to look like when they both pull back. And that is they cannot get a nuclear weapon. That's the deal breaker. Like that there's no daylight between the two countries. Israel, though, has an existential fight a little bit differently than America, though, because of its proximity to this killer. And so when you see those missiles and you see the drones and you see all that swarming that they do, people in Tel Aviv, and we talked about it, Jonathan Hunt is right, they're spending a lot of time in bomb shelters. They're giving up a lot of freedom. They're being injured in some of this, but they understand that this is necessary. I pray for them. It is Passover. It is Easter. The enemy hates us because of how we believe, and it's on full display. But you know what? We are hitting them so hard. We're doing what Trump said we'd do.
Yeah, and Laura, the domineering force.
Epic fury and then roaring lion. These two. And with
anyway, so a couple of things.
It was almost hard to concentrate on what she was saying because the definition in her neck was like a marble sculpture. I don't know what kind of exercises she does, but
yeah, right.
Goddamn.
But anyway, some of the the title of that segment was something about that the Iranian people they're still waiting for them to rise up and fight for the people that are bombing them or something, as they showed them just bombing a bridge. Like, how does that help you? Anyway, so here's the thing. From what I hear, Trump's talking victory, which is great because they're saying they've achieved victory, and the measure of victory is the fact that they've stopped them from developing nuclear weapons, which they never had in the first place.
And which they claimed had been achieved by those strikes months ago.
So now they're saying, okay, we've achieved victory, we're going to pull out. But the problem is, Iran's not done. We can go home, but it's not going to be good. It's not. Iran's far from done. They're not going to be done. You know what their demands are, right?
Currently, no.
One of them is got to close all the bases in the Gulf region. They're already bombed them all and destroyed them all, or missiled them all, or whatever. So they're just saying, look, if you build that back, you're just going to hit it with missiles again. You guys got to take off to get the fuck out of here, or we're not stopping. And that includes just raining down missiles, and look, the Strait of Hormuz is open. It's just closed to anybody that pays with petrodollars. That's who the Strait of Hormuz is closed to. Anybody else that wants to pay with crypto or yuan or whatever else, rupees, shekels, I don't know.
Chinese vessels, Indian vessels. Yeah, anybody's willing to pay with yuan.
And so that's the war now. Trump can go, okay, we're done, we're going home, but the war ain't stopping. You started this shit, and it ain't going to stop for quite some time until Iran says, okay, now you've met our demands. Otherwise, they ain't going to stop. They're done. They're done with this bullshit. And Iran is getting flattened. I hate to say I hate to say I see it, but I can't. You guys deserve it. You can't FAFO, you fucked around, you're finding out. You're getting your ass kicked now. And that's the thing. Netanyahu and those guys don't give a shit. If there was actually allowed to be any news come out of Israel, I guarantee the people of Israel going, shoot Bibi on sight as soon as you see him. I guarantee the people of Israel, first of all, weren't that crazy about Bibi to begin with, despite what the media would tell you. I guarantee you, most people in Israel probably loathe Bibi Netanyahu at this point. But that's my speculation. I've never been, so I can't really make any conclusive.
Yeah, I've never been there either, and I certainly wouldn't want to visit now.
But yeah, I don't think this is stopping anytime soon. But I think that they probably are rethinking boots on the ground, because that would be, not only would that be stupid for the whole war, but that's political suicide. That's where everybody has said they support Trump up until that point. That's when he's already lost half his base. And that's where he's going to lose the other half that's left. If he goes and puts boots on the ground there, that's a huge political loss for Trump, man. That's it. He's done anyway. But you forget J.D. Vance, forget Marco Rubio, forget any of those guys. You were in on putting boots on the ground in Iran. That's going to be the talking point for the Democrats or whoever is going to beat them. Because I don't even know. Who do you think the Democrats got? Ro Khanna? Gavin Newsom? I don't think he's going to get elected.
Newsom is really their only guy, and
AOC
I don't see
and
that.
Newsom, those guys are clowns.
Hillary 2.0.
Yeah, they're ridiculous. Yeah. Anyway, what else? You got anything else?
No, I'm about out, and I think we're over an hour at this point.
And we'll take our final victory lap right now at the end of the show. If anybody wants, go back and look at episode sandwiched in between episode 30 and 31. You will get our take on the Charlie Kirk assassination that has clearly been absolutely spot on, except most of it, except for we did speculate about some stuff that turned out to actually some of it's being revived. Some of nobody's coming up with anything conclusive yet. It could all be still in play. Who the hell knows? So anyway, go watch that episode and have fun with this one, and we'll see you next time. And oh wait, 904.
Comment, share, subscribe.
904 549
549 9024.
Please, somebody else leave a message so we can listen to somebody else's voice instead of just mine and Rom's. It's getting ridiculous. But that's it. We're out. We'll catch you later.
Thanks, guys.